all 7 seals of the apocalypse forecast in Revelation been broken? Is it possible we have counted down to a supposed Armageddon? Some say today's world events prove this biblical timeline may be deadly accurate, as is the prophesied location for the epic battle. The world's 3 major religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, converge in the nation of Israel. Given the region's long violent past and present, some interpreters believe it is a likely flashpoint for a pivotal conflict, the Battle of Armageddon.
Some people think that the plain, called the Plain of Esdraelon, a big agricultural area between Samaria and Galilee and Israel. Some people believe that's the valley of Megiddo, the valley of Armageddon.
Megiddo's location, at the crossroads of a vital ancient trade route, made it a coveted prize among warring factions in antiquity. Biblical scholars believe that its long history as a key battleground inspired Revelation's author John to designate it as the site of the ultimate showdown between God and Satan. According to Revelation, Jesus will emerge from the heavens on a white horse to lead God's assembled forces. But the text portrays him as anything but the benevolent Savior known to his followers.
His eyes are a flame of fire, and he is clothed with a robe dipped in blood. From his mouth comes a sharp sword, so that with it he may smite the nations, and he will rule them with a rod of iron.
Now, it's utterly impossible to reconcile Jesus of the book of Revelation, who has blood-stained robes and is leaving blood for hundreds of miles around the battle site, with the gentle Jesus, the loving Jesus of the Sermon on the Mount. The two are not the same figure.
Revelation describes how the warrior Jesus advances with his army against the Antichrist and his forces, called from the nations he has deceived into worshiping him. The forces of good ultimately prevail over the unholy Trinity after their years of deception.
They'll be cast in the lake of fire. The devil will be cast in that. False prophet, the Antichrist, and all those who took the mark of the beast.
So ends Revelation's description of the Battle of Armageddon. Drawing any correlation between this biblical prophecy and current events is problematic, as it speaks of supernatural figures clashing in a supernatural context. But in one profound sense, the prophecy and the present may be convergent.
Something like 60% of Americans believe the events in the book of Revelation will come to pass. Now, this is extremely dangerous, because how can we not say that if we believe something, that we don't act in such a way as to make it happen? If we believe that there's going to be a big war in the Middle East and Jesus is going to come back and save the world, then we might just let our behavior be affected by that belief and allow it to occur.
It is an intriguing possibility. At its heart is what can be considered a curious, fatal attraction to Revelation's prophecy.
The great tradition of Revelation over 20 centuries is that every new generation comes to the text, reads it, and is convinced that it describes events that will take place in their own life. It is a habit of our minds in Western tradition to look for signs of the end. And I believe it's a habit that was formed literally by what we read in Revelation.
But surprisingly, this inclination among millions may not stem from a morbid fascination with mayhem. Instead, it might be rooted in the perception that Revelation, ultimately, is a story of hope.
Inevitably, there will be a general judgment of the world and all that, but at least if it happens in our day, the end of all evil will be seen in our lifetime.
This leading period is one of great pestilence, plague, wars, economic collapse, destruction. It's a period of great suffering for all the people who have to live through it. But at the end, Jesus comes, the final battle is fought, fact remains that we have this idea of the final destruction of evil.
But if the horrors of Revelation truly come to pass, will evil's demise be of any satisfaction to the few who survive? According to the biblical text, they will find comfort in a remade world.
And God himself shall be among them, and he shall wipe away every tear from their eyes, and any mourning, or crying, or pain.
All those things seem to be pointing at that there is a time that is going to come that something very bad, very catastrophic is going to happen. And I don't think that there's a way for us to escape that. I really think that this is going to happen, just as it's been prophesied to happen.
Only time will tell. Based on human behavior over the past 100 years, it seems likely that millions in this generation will look to Revelation for clues about the apocalypse, wondering